Okay, on to the glitter mug. My personal favorite of all the different style mugs I made. There's just something so mesmerizing about watching the glitter sprinkle onto the mug and then watching it spin on the spinner and the light catching it at all the different angles. Plus, they look really cool when they're done too. I picked up a ton of glitter for this project because I knew that I wanted to do a lot of different stuff with it. I picked up some super fine glitter. I'll put the link in the class materials section. And then I also picked up this beautiful hexagon chunk glitter. It's so pretty and it really just pops. I love also that it has a variety of different sizes of glitter in it. So there's like big hexagons down to tiny little itty bitty pieces of glitter. Here's a good up close look at it on the poppy mug, before and after I added the decal. I'm going to go ahead and use the Kirsten mug for this tutorial. Kirsten is my youngest niece. She lives out in Montana, and I made an orange and green mug for her sister Melanie, and she wanted a black mug. I found this beautiful, beautiful black glitter to use for it, and I love how when the light catches it, it just sprinkles all different colors. I'm using a black based mug for this, just so I don't have to spend the time putting a color on it already. If you can start with the color mug that you want as your base, you should definitely do that. It's going to save you time and money. With this mug, we're going to start out with a blank coat of resin that we sprinkle the glitter onto. So go ahead and prepare your resin and mix it up really well. You're only going to need about 20 milliliters of liquid resin on your mug per layer. These silicone mats work great for putting underneath your project to catch all the glitter and the drips of resin and stuff that you may have. They're not super easy to clean, but I love that they're reusable. The way that I clean mine is I actually use packing tape. I just let it get really dirty first, and then I take long strips of packing tape and just press it down onto the mat and peel it up, and it just kind of pulls all that resin and glitter bits up. But usually I do a few mugs before I spend the time to clean it, because it does take a little while to clean. But it does a great job of protecting your countertop that you're working on, and like I said, it's reusable. Like the mica powder mug, we're not going to tape the ends on this one because we want to make sure we get that nice smooth graduated edge with the resin. After we apply this first coat of resin to the mug, we get to sprinkle on the glitter. And that, to me, is the funnest part of this whole project. The Chunky Cosmetic holographic glitter set that I bought comes with 16 different colors, but I do think the black is my favorite. Although the teal that I used on Melanie's mug and Andy's mug is a very close second. I'm going to do a separate video on the Andy, the tall skinny mug that I did, because there was a few different tricks with that one since it's a different style of mug. Most of the mugs that I did though were this, where they've got the stainless steel border on the top and the bottom. But if you're doing a mug that doesn't have the top and border band like this, definitely watch the Andy mug video. Okay, once you're done mixing your resin for about 3.5 to 4 minutes, it's ready to apply. You've got about 30 minutes to work with this stuff, so if you mixed it too fast and you see that there's a lot of air bubbles in it, just let it sit there for a couple minutes and most of those bubbles will work out. If you still have bubbles on your mug after you've applied it when you're done painting it all on, you can hit it with a heat gun and it'll get rid of them. Since this one's just clear resin, you don't have to worry about the mica powder swirling or anything like that. You can stop the mug turner to paint it on, which makes it a lot easier because you're not trying to paint it onto a moving target. Just get a good, nice first coat on there. Make sure you get up to the edges really well. And just cover the whole mug completely. It should take you less than 5 minutes to apply this clear coat of resin. You should always wear gloves when you're working with this stuff. As you can see, I'm not this time. Oftentimes I do. This stuff is non-toxic, so it's not going to hurt you, but it's just really sticky and really messy. If you do get it on you, though, jojoba oil can take it off pretty well. If you've got some sticky residue on your fingers, or you've got some on the handle of your spatula or something like that, and it's not dry yet, just put a little bit of jojoba oil on some tissue and just rub it on there, and it'll just take all that off. Even if you're only applying glitter to part of your mug, make sure you apply this first coat of resin to the entire mug. Otherwise, you're going to get like a weird shape, like you'll have the bottom of the mug, if that's where you added the resin, could be thicker than it should be compared to the top. So just make sure that every time you add a coat, even if it's for the decal in the center or glitter at the bottom or whatever, that you're covering the entire mug with resin. It doesn't use a lot of resin, so it's not super expensive. It's just going to take a lot of time, but it's worth that time to get it done right the first time. You want this mug to be beautiful if you're spending a week making it. When I made these two mugs for the girls, Kirsten and Melanie, my nieces, I didn't actually tell them what I was making. I just texted them and asked them for color choices. I wanted it to be a surprise, but I did want them to be able to customize it and personalize it. So this, adding the glitter of the color of their choice, was a fun way to do that. Side story, with my niece Melanie's mug, the color choice she sent me was like a greenish teal and peach color choice. I added the glitter and felt like it looked a little bit too green though, so that's what prompted me to go look for that hexagon holographic glitter, and I found the teal in it. The teal was just stunning, so I added a layer of that afterwards. Like I added the regular coat that you can see in the upper right hand corner up there with the glitter and everything, then I added the seal coat, then I added the decal, and then when I added the seal coat on the decal, I added a little bit of teal glitter to the bottom, and it gave it this really cool layered look because you could tell that it was layered above the more green glitter below. So get creative and play around with your layers and glitter. You can really make some cool creative stuff. When you get the mug all covered with the resin, you don't want to just start throwing glitter at it. You definitely want to let it spin on the spinner for about 5 minutes or so. That's going to let it kind of level out a little bit so you don't have any weird bumps and ridges and things like that for the glitter to get caught in. Because if it does that, then the glitter can sit funny as the resin smooths out on your mug. On every mug I do, after I get it all covered in resin, I go back around and make sure I've got the edges really good at the top and the bottom. You want to make sure that you didn't miss anywhere and that it's got a good solid edge all the way around. Don't worry about getting it on the stainless steel. We're going to clean that up in a minute here. But just make sure that it's covered all the way up to, and even touching slightly, the stainless steel. Once you're sure that the edges are all good, you can go back over the whole mug and just kind of smooth it out one last time before you let it spin and level out a little bit. This tutorial is specifically for using glitter, but you could use a lot of similar things with this same process. Like if you wanted to make one for a beach trip, you could use beach sand on this mug and seal it in just the same way. Or like a Christmas mug using some non-toxic fake snow or even dried flowers. There's really a lot of different ways that you could personalize these mugs for someone special. While the resin on your mug is leveling out, take the time to clean up the edges a little bit. I always just use a little piece of tissue and fold it up so that you get a nice, clean, crisp edge on it, and then just hold it to the mug. Just line it up on the stainless steel where you want the edge of the resin to be, and press gently. Not hard enough to stop the spinner from moving or anything, but just enough to grab the resin as the spinner spins the mug for you so that it's doing all the hard work. It'll help you get a lot straighter edge this way instead of trying to wipe a straight edge manually. Remember that the better each layer's edge looks, the better your edge is going to look at the very end. When you do your edges like this, you're going to get a nice graduated edge every single time. It's going to be nice and comfortable to grab the mug, no sharp edges or anything like that. By the time you're done wiping up your edges, your mug's going to be ready for glitter. All right, onto the glitter. This is my most favorite part of the whole project. It is so fun for some reason to just sprinkle on glitter and watch it spin around in the light. You don't want to sprinkle it too close because you could end up with like big globs of glitter, and you definitely don't want that. You want it to be spread out really evenly. To achieve this, sprinkle the glitter from higher up. It gives the glitter pieces time to separate as it's falling through the air, and it just gives it a more natural look. Well, not natural because it's glitter, you know what I mean though, like where it's more spread out instead of in clumps and globs. Notice that the mug spinner is spinning for this process. You want your mug spinner spinning for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's going to help you spread it out more evenly. But secondly, that glitter is going to move and slide if you stop the turner, and you don't want that. You want it to stay about where you've dropped it at. If you were to stop the spinner, everything that's on the top is going to start to slide down both of the sides, and you're going to end up with a line or so on the top that doesn't have glitter, and you don't want that. I really love this hexagonal glitter. I can't say that enough. I love all the different little sizes. Look, there's like tiny little pieces and medium pieces, bigger pieces, and it just catches and reflects the light so beautifully. Don't worry about getting glitter on the ends. We're going to clean that up just like we did the resin when we're all done. Eventually, you may get to where it won't let you add any more glitter. That's totally fine. It just means that you're done with this layer. After it dries, you can add more resin and more glitter. You'll know that this has happened because the whole surface area of the resin will be covered with glitter, and any new glitter that you add to it will just fall off once the mug spins to where that section's on the side or the bottom. A couple other things about working with glitter on these mugs is remember to tap it flat. You're going to have all these big chunks, and some of them, when they hit the mug, they're not going to land flat and they're going to stick out. You're going to need to, at the end of this, coat your mug in as many coats of clear resin as it takes for you to have a smooth mug. So if you've got a large piece of hexagon glitter and it's sticking out perpendicular to the mug, you're going to have to add a lot of coats of resin to that, and it may not even fit in a cup holder by the time you're done with it. So after you've sprinkled all your glitter on, let the mug spin around a few times and just tap any of those pieces of glitter that are sticking up so that they're laying flat on the mug. As the mug spins and the resin levels out, it's going to flow into all those tiny nooks and crannies between the pieces of glitter, and when it's dry, you're going to be left with a really bumpy surface. Plan to add 1, even 2 in some cases, coats of clear resin over the top of your glitter before adding any decals. When you're done adding the glitter, grab a tissue and wipe the ends of the mug again. When you're all done, let your mug spin and dry for a full day. Here's how this mug turned out. After I added a sealing coat of resin, the vinyl decal, another sealing coat of resin, sprinkled a tiny bit more glitter over the name to give it a little bit more pizzazz, and then added another final coat of resin.